lot for you to see this second part of the Morocco tape. And you're going to the south to Marrakesh, to Ouarzazate, that's with an O-U, to Zagora on the edge of the desert, to Taroudant in a walled city, and to the beautiful seaside resort of Agadir. It's going to be a great trip. Come along and enjoy it all. Just walked into the gate of the old city in Marrakesh, which is very different. It's flat, and we're in a shop that where he has beautiful olive wood. And what's your name?
Ahmed.
Ahmed. That's a good name for a Moroccan man. Thank you. We'll take a look around your shop. Here are some of the wonderful Moroccan rugs that you've all heard about, and now you're seeing. This is a shop where a man has a beautiful assortment of them. Yes. Tell me your name, sir.
Yes, sir. My name is Abdul.
Abdul. Okay, that's a good Moroccan name.
Thank you.
Everything's up to date in Marrakesh. There's all kinds of different kinds of makeup that women use. And one of the things they use, I bet you never saw lipstick like this. Yeah. Show us how it's used.
This is lipstick, purple lipstick from poppy flowers. This is toothbrush, Moroccan dentifrice for the tea. You make it a little bit of this, yes.
Your teeth.
Yeah, for the tea, yes. And this is amber grease, amber, from big whale.
Then he has stuff from a whale. There's all kinds of different things that we use. What do we use ambergris for? Perfume?
This is for perfume, not
yes.
perfume for clothes. You make it for the hand, for clothes, for shower. One small piece, you put it for...
oh boy, that smells delicious.
Yeah, smelling. One small piece for all the time.
Thank you. Here we're on one of the streets, a very typical street. You can see how different this is from Fez. Oh, maybe you weren't watching the last program, but we're doing the south of Morocco now, which is quite different from the north. We're in Marrakesh in the souk, and it's very exciting here. Now you're on television. This man is a water seller. You can't drink the normal water here in the Medina, in the old section of Marrakesh. So these gentlemen walk around with all these, and they sell you water in these cups. And keep, in this one. Okay, I don't think I'm going to have any, but isn't he cute? This is the Jama El Fana, the famous square that everybody hears about in Marrakesh. They say if you wait long enough, you see everything in the world go by. Right now, there's only motorbikes. But let's turn off the camera for a minute and then come back on when we see some interesting things. Now we're overlooking the Jama El Fana, this fabulous, fabulous square that everybody talks about in Marrakesh, and with good reason. There's everything from the very beautiful bank across the way to all these little clusters of people who each of them is involved in doing something special. The water seller is out there, or there are several of them. You saw one of those before. And then there are people telling fortunes, and what else? Pamela's here again.
There are dentists, there are snake charmers everywhere, of course. There are spice sellers, astrologers, basket makers. There are men with monkeys, and what else? Let's see now. Well, then there are the big circles are where there are stories being told.
They tell stories from the Quran, don't they?
That, and also old traditional stories.
Traditional tales. We're now in a chieftain's tent, and we are watching a desert group perform, and this man is making the meshwi, which is the ceremonially roasted lamb, absolutely gorgeous. However, it's pouring rain outside. You cannot believe it. This isn't the desert. I think we're on a tropical island. You know, I'm in Darmajana, in the heart of the Medina,
Yes.
in Marrakesh.
Yes.
You cannot believe the opulence, the magnificence of these lanterns. An oud player in the background and the manager, the owner of this magnificent place. Tell me your name, sir, would you?
Shauki.
How nice. How long have you had this restaurant?
15 floor. 14 ans. 15 floor. 15 years.
15 years.
15 years.
14 ans.
14.
Oui, merci. And it is so superb. You cannot believe when you walk in from the street to see this opulence. Very, very serious part of a Moroccan meal. We're going to have our hands washed because we might be eating with our hands. So enjoy it while Pamela, you've met Pamela before, and I have these beautiful people wash our hands. Can I put this microphone down while I do it? Yes, I will. We are seated in front of a very simple repast of about 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, I don't know, 10, 12 salads of carrots and tomatoes. And a tomato, they make a jam almost of tomatoes. It's called confiture. And just liver and a cervelle, I won't translate that for you, and olives. Just everything is gorgeous. And in the middle is BRR, is for Bob and me, the people who are producing and bringing you this wonderful show. Aren't you happy to be here? I am. A hillside outside of Ouarzazate. Yes, that's really the name of this place, Ouarzazate. Most people think it sounds like where's it at, but I can tell you it is where it's at because there's a huge meeting of rivers here and there's water, and that's the reason for the existence of this place. And this is kind of the beginning of the desert. So you can see how different really the desert, the Sahara, the pre-Sahara landscape here. There's a Kasbah behind me. That's the old one that was the original building in this town. We're going to walk into the city to take a look at it. This is a different style of dress. These are what I call the white tablecloth ladies, and they're more apparent down here instead of the jalaba, the more traditional thing that this young woman is wearing, as well as the older woman coming toward us. We'll see all kinds of clothing from here on in. It's fascinating. Well, these Kasbahs, meaning castles, fortified castles, seem to be all over the place around here. One we were looking at before evidently is only 19th century. It's only not quite 200 years old. And this one is an older one, but who knows? They've got all kinds of history that we don't really know about down here in the Sahara, but Gary Cooper loved it. Well, we're on our way to Fint, F-I-N-T, and as you see, this is an oasis. And wait till you see the road we have to take to get there. It's called a piste, and it is a pistol, I'll tell you. Let's go. Well, this is the beginning of the real Sahara. In case you thought it was all little tiny fine sand, it's not. It's rocks, big, heavy rocks. And you ride over them in order to get out to this oasis that we're on our way to. And there are dunes, but they're made of rocks. And then you get around to a tiny bit of water that's dammed up so that when it rains, they can capture it. And you get a few trees. But you can see, you can look for miles around, and there's nothing but rocks. Oh, we're en route to Fint, and I will tell you, the rocks are on the road too. This is called, as I said, a pistol, but you can get the idea. If you think you're shaking when you're looking at the picture, what do you think we're feeling as we're riding over it? It may look like Utah, but it's not. We are in Morocco, at the beginning of the Sahara Desert. This pre-Sahara landscape is like a dream. Just so mysterious, wonderful. Enjoy. You wondered how we got here, out in the middle of this nowhere-y kind of desert. It is these handsome young men who brought us here. Votre nom, monsieur? Abrahim and Absalam. We'd call them Abe and Absalam. I don't know. We'd maybe make up a nickname for him, too. As we round these majestic rocks, it takes us down to the real heart of the oasis. And we'll go down there in just a few minutes. See the people who live here, get a feel for what life is like here. In the middle of the desert, because of that stream, life springs into being, and they grow dates and almonds and vegetables, all taken care of with these little, an irrigation ditches, I suppose one would call it, but they're the most primitive kind. And nevertheless, right here in the middle of all these rocks and this sand and grandeur is another kind of grandeur of nature. And this is where the people live, above where the water supply is, so they have to bring their water up to their homes every day, but they cannot possibly waste this valuable land to put houses on. That's for growing things, and this is for living. Each of the doors is decorated in a different way, and they're all talismans to keep away the evil eye. So walk with me. I hope we'll get invited into one of them. This is the inside of one of the houses, the house of the village chief, or his son, who is here to welcome us, with some almond tea that he's going to pour in just a minute. And it's just lovely to be cool and shaded inside. It makes such a difference. You understand why people have adobe, both in this country and in New Mexico. Same.
Bienvenue.
He's saying, welcome, you guys.
Chin
Chin. Any way you want it, any language you want, he's about to say it in, which means good health, good luck, and joy. But I'll tell you, in case you think this is all romantic, it's not. Look at the way they're making that tea on on a
Eh bien, bonnet, pour le thé à la menthe.
the almond tea, he's
Et
saying.
le pain, les
Getting
galettes.
very excited about it. But look at that nifty
مرحبا بكم،
tea.
مرحبا بكم.
In the markets, they have these beautiful copper teapots, and here they use a plain old aluminum one. It's funny, the contrast of this country. It's great.
Aziz. Aziz de l'Oasis.
Oh, his name is Aziz from the Oasis. Okay, I guess we'll remember that. This is a Berber drum that Aziz from the Oasis is playing for us. Berber music. Okay. Is it an old one, ancien or nouvelle?
En avant.
Nouveau. He made it yesterday, I think. I don't know. We'll find out. So the tea ceremony is somewhat different in a restaurant. Here is the authentic thing, using that wonderful aluminum. Oh boy, here comes the mint for the tea. And when they use mint in tea in this country, in Morocco, they're serious about it. They use a lot, and it's delicious. Taking a bird's eye view of the village across the way. Not you understand that this is like North Philadelphia and South Philadelphia in close proximity to each other. These are both parts of the oases of Fint. And all you hear are the birds, an occasional donkey braying, see an occasional person. As you can see, there's not a lot of hustle and bustle here. Very tranquil, very awe-inspiring. And in the village of Isfutalil, actually inside of one of these lovely homes, it's a walled home, and our lovely, handsome driver brought us here to his house. Now that is Moroccan hospitality, than which there is no more beautiful. Standing here in the courtyard of his home. Now this is truly a contemporary Berber home. We're really in the village. And we are in the home of the lovely man who drove us to Fint. Now we're in his home with his mother. Will you like to say hello and have Mama say hello to Philadelphia?
Quoi?
Quoi? Hello, Philadelphia.
Hello, Philadelphia. Il est sur Philadelphia.
Écoute, c'est un Philadelphia.
Je ne sais pas le dire.
Hello, Philadelphia.
Hello, Philadelphia.
Okay. The whole gang is in the action. Are you going to talk too? Hello. Hello, Philadelphia.
Hello, Philadelphia.
Great. Bravo. We're going to have tea and almonds, which are local to this area, and the women were just sitting around shelling the almonds as we came in. So they are fresh from the trees and delicious beyond belief. Tiny Berber village in the valley between Ouarzazate and Zagora. We've come over the mountains, and now we are deep in the heart of the traditional Berber people who will wear dark clothing and live in these kasur. This one happens to be in the shadow of the most magnificent mountain range. Low mountains, but my word, look at that configuration. Is it gorgeous here or what? I'll tell you, The air is just so clear and so pure. I think I'll move here. We're in Zagora, the last, well, almost the last jumping off place. But you see, I'm standing in front of a sign that says Timbuktu is 52 days that way by camel. I don't think I'm going to do that exactly, and I don't know that anybody does it anymore, but it's sort of just the idea of the romance of it, of being here at the beginning, really, really the beginning of the Deep Sahara, and that's where having a great time. See how blue the sky is and how just we're in with full, all the atmosphere. Here comes one of the blue men, one of the men from Gulamin, and I'm going to go stand over there and talk to him. Yes, we're having a great time. This is the way the men from the deep in the desert dress. See, salam. That means peace, and we all hope for peace. We are in the old Casbah and looking at some ancient artifacts from this part of the world, even some Jewish artifacts, which I think is fascinating. There is a Torah here, and I don't know what that is, but it's...
This is the gift from Moroccan Jewish to the synagogue. It's very old.
Very old, very beautiful. All of the things in here.
Here I have the Torah, write it in gazelle skin, more than 5th century.
500 years ago, this was written on gazelle skin. We don't even have gazelles, but I guess they did in this part of the world. Really fascinating to be here, inside this old Berber Casbah, and seeing this mixture of cultures.
Some art from the Berber, some art from the Tuareg, from Africa, black people from Mali, Mauritania, and Niger. And they have many things from Jewish, because Jewish have been living here many times before.
Well, this is Omar, not Omar Sharif, but Omar, our guide. And he's about to guide us into, are you ready for this? The Jewish Casbah. Here in the middle of the desert, we're going out to see a synagogue. Come with us. Now we're in the Casbah. People who are living here now are Berber people of the desert, children, and you can see magnificent fortifications here. Walk along with me. Well, that's the synagogue, but in keeping with the changing population, it was a synagogue, that is, it's now a mosque. You can see the minaret that has risen above it, but the structure is still very much the same as when a population lived here about 500 years ago. Well, it's changed a lot, I'm sure, but this was where the rabbi lived and had his children, and 500 years ago, this is where it was at. And as the sun is getting low in the sky and the prayers are finished, the gentlemen of the town are coming out to have a conversation. And the ladies too, but they're not in this picture. Now this is truly the desert. The French Foreign Legion kind of desert. The desert with dunes. The desert where you get the feeling that there's never been anybody else here before. However, just au contraire, to the contrary, just here to my left are camels and people who are just here because tourists come. Aren't they beautiful, though? It's a wonderful place to be, this Morocco. It has everything. It has sights to see. It has the ocean. It has the desert. It has all and lovely, lovely people. I think you'll have been glad to be here with me. Now, I'm having dinner in a tent in Zagora. It's tough to be out here sort of at the beginning of the Sahara. As you can see, I'm sort of living in a very primitive way, with a very handsome man to pour my water and open my wine. Oh, well, when you're here, you have to put up with these things. Too bad, dommage. Now, at the Tinsaline Hotel in Zagora, we're going to be served, a tiny little portion of couscous for 2 personnes. You think it's going to be enough, guys? I do. And if we want more, we can have more. Oh, my word. You think we're going to do it? Let's see. Well, we're in the Palais Salam, the palace of a sultan that's been turned into a hotel. And I must tell you, the suite we were in was perfectly palatial. In the town of Tahoudon, an old walled city in the middle of nowhere. Simply, absolutely exquisite. Another aspect of Morocco that everyone ought to see. I've enjoyed every single minute of it. Just in case you thought it was romantic outside, take a look at the inside. Feel like a pasha or a sultan or whatever a sultan's woman was, I guess a slave. A harem broad. I'm not one of those, but I'm enjoying being here. I said earlier that Morocco has it all. It has the cactus of the desert. It has the desert itself. It has the sun. It has the rain occasionally, not too often, inshallah, as one would say. It has palm trees. It has the sea. It has, well, just about everything anyone could want. And it has something that I found very comforting here in Agadir. We were at a Sheraton hotel. It was kind of nice to see this familiar S of the Sheratons looming over everything, because while you have all this wonderful foreign influence, you do have that's familiar of a Sheraton service, and believe me, we enjoyed it. Hope you've enjoyed your visit to Morocco, both to the north and to the south. Enough to whet your appetite. I've been there 3 times, and I'm ready to go back any old time. The beautiful handcrafts, the lovely people, and it's just a wonderful place to go. See you again. This is Barbara Ann Rosenberg, your roving reporter. See you again soon.